Dear Susie, here's my plan.
Dear Sam, my answer is yes.
Dear Susie, 1.
Dear Sam, where?
Dear Susie, walk 400 yards due north from your house to the dirt path which has not got any name on it. Turn right and follow to the end. I will meet you in the meadow.
Where's the boy? I'm told that he's just been struck by lightning.
The movie's set in 1965, and that really, I don't know that it's essential that it be that time period, but it sort of came about because the island where we filmed the story is actually, since 1962, it's not really an island anymore. It's connected by a bridge to Newport, Rhode Island, and it's changed significantly. It's a completely different place from what it was. There's another island where we filmed part of the movie that is still accessible only by ferry, and it's sort of a time warp. So I wanted our movie to be in that America that existed, you know, it's just one generation earlier.
The year is 1965. We are on the far edge of Black Beacon Sound, famous for the ferocious and well-documented storm which will strike from the east on the 5th of September, in 3 days' time.
I wanted to make a romance between two 12-year-olds that was more powerful than they really knew what to do with, and that the parents, you know, were kind of overwhelmed by it. That it was kind of out of everyone's control.
What kind of bird are you?
I'm a sparrow. She's a dove.
No, I said, what kind of bird are you?
And as I was working on it, I ended up sort of having something happen where I decided this girl in the story would be a big reader. And in fact, she's traveling with a suitcase full of fantasy books. And somewhere along the way, I started thinking more and more that the movie should really be one of her books, kind of, and that really ought to be our form, that the movie is the sort of story that the two characters in it would want to read.
Where's your sister?
I don't know, but she bought my record player for 10 days without asking.
What does that mean?
Dear Lionel, I need to use your record player. I will give it back in 10 days or less. Do not tell Mom or Dad. I will replace the batteries when I return. Signed, Susie Bishop.
Walt, where the hell are you?
Right here. Why are you cursing it?
Does it concern you that your daughter has just run away from home?
That's a loaded question.
A 12-year-old with a crush that's really the whole world for that person. And in the same way that I remember when I was that age, when I would read a book, that the book would be my whole world, and I would sort of lose a sense of quite what is reality and what is the book. And it was the same thing with it, you know, a romantic feeling at that age. You sort of lose touch with what you were. It's like you're entering into a fantasy right then. And I wanted to kind of do something that related to that.
Were you followed? I doubt it. Good. Is that a cat in there? Can you read a map?
Uh-huh.
I do cartography. I feel we should go halfway today and halfway tomorrow since you're a less experienced hiker and you're wearing Sunday school shoes.
They're not really Sunday school shoes.
Oh, thank you. Here's where we are right now. I'd like to pitch camp here by 1600, which means 4 o'clock. How's that sound?
Fine.
You want some beef jerky?
Okay.
Let's go.
The big thing with working with children is finding them, because, you know, they're not. You don't just say, oh, I want. I mean, sometimes you can say, if we could get the kid from such and such, but most of the time you say we have to find somebody. And both of our main characters, the girl Susie is played by Kara Hayward, and Sam is Jared Gilman, and they are people we found in their schools. They hadn't been in anything before. But in the case of Kara, her audition, which my first exposure to any of them is a little QuickTime on my computer, which I'm just watching hundreds, thousands of these, and her audition, she gave every appearance of making up the words as she spoke them. It's a scene I'd seen done so many times that I had come to hate the scene. And for the first time, this girl is doing it just as if it's a documentary. So I was immediately taken with her and thought, well, not only can she do it, she's already doing it. With Jared, I saw his audition and it was more the conversation that the casting director had with him afterwards. His personality, he made me laugh, and he was appealing and funny and unique. For them, they're going to leave school, their whole life gets set aside, and they now have to be professionals. They have to be actors and report for work every day, and there's a lot to prepare that's not just getting into character. But I also feel like the best way for them to prepare for all the other things is to get into character and to just sort of start doing it and get into a routine with this company and become a part of the company.
I can't offer you a legally binding union. It won't hold up in the state, the county, or frankly any courtroom in the world due to your age, lack of a license, and failure to get parental consent. But the ritual does carry a very important moral weight within yourselves. You can't enter into this lightly. Look into my eyes. Do you love each other?
Yes, we do.
But think about what I'm saying. Are you sure you're ready for this?
Yes, we are.
They're not listening to me. Let me rephrase it.
We're in a hurry.
Are you chewing? Spit out the gum, sister. In fact, everybody. I don't like the snappy attitude. This is the most important decision you've made in your lives.
They're dressed up in costumes, in period costumes, and they're in a setting that's unlike anything that they're used to. But for me, what I mostly want to see is them just feeling natural in it. And they usually are kind of quick to do that. They get used to what well, this is the way I dress for now. I'm not going to dress this way as soon as they let me go. But what's interesting, though, is to see a kid studying a typewriter like it is the most bizarre object. How does it work, and what is this? That to me, that's the generation gap.
All right, we know they're together. We know they're within a certain radius of this spot. I'm declaring the case with the county right now. Until help arrives, I'm deputizing the little guy, the skinny one, and the boy with the patch on his eye to come with me in the station wagon. Randy, you drop in and head upriver with the rest of your troops, split up on foot. Becky, call Jed, tell him to circle over this end of the island and fly low.
It's very difficult for me to see the whole picture at once. I gather together a lot of ingredients, and I have an idea of how this element is going to relate to these other ones, and that we're kind of finding some motifs and we're building something, but I never have a clear sense of what it's going to be like when it's all together. And I'm always surprised. First, I'm always surprised when I see the first dailies, and it has all sorts of things that we've been working on, and now there they are the way they're meant to be, and so this is what it's like when you add them together. And then as the shots start getting attached one to the next, that's another surprise.
Scoutmaster Ward, I presume?
Yes, ma'am.
Your reputation precedes you. You two are the most appallingly incompetent custodial guardian social services has ever had the misfortune to encounter in a 27-year career. What do you have to say for yourselves?
You can't do this. They'll eat him alive in there.
Where?
What's the name of the place again?
Juvenile refuge.
Juvenile refuge. Sounds like jail.
Just find the boy and deliver him to social services. Nothing else is in your power.
When I see them in a movie that I'm working on, I say this is a bit like something we've done before. I usually that's usually a problem for me, and I think, well, we cannot have another yellow tent. The problem is that I then say, but I don't really have any other color I like as much for this tent. So this movie, Moonrise, well, in the Royal Tenenbaums, there is a yellow tent that figures kind of significantly in the story. There's a couple of scenes that take place in this tent, and this movie, they're in a yellow tent, and it's really, I think it's unfortunately some hard wiring that I'm not really able to reconfigure, I don't mind terribly links among my films because, I like the idea of sort of building up a collection of these different pieces that are linked together. But I love not to have someone say, well, that's just like what you did before.
I'll be out back. I'm going to find a tree to chop down.